So I have 9+ years of experience in BI tools like Power BI, Tableau, and like MSBI. All these related area I have worked on in my total experience. So currently I'm working on Power BI itself last 4 5 years onwards. So basically this particular training, so I'm teaching on Power BI itself. So previously also I was working as a trainer for Tableau BI tool, Tableau Business Intelligence tool. So now you can even refer my videos on YouTube channel, Corporate Trainer Naveen. There you can find the my videos, Tableau videos, training videos there also. So basically Tableau and Power BI both are reporting tools only. So what is this training into? It is a uh, business intelligence, right? So where we will be creating the reports. So using connecting with the data, right? So it could be any kind of data we connect with, and we create a reports. So those reports will help to the people to understand their business and to go forward in their business. Okay, so that is the primary skill which we are going to learn in this training, but I'll tell you like in detail like what is this training, everything, right? What and all I'll be covering and how do we go forward. But yeah, so if you look at it here, part of this particular program, right? So I'll be covering the data warehousing concepts to make you understand like what is data, right? So within the data, what are the basics which we should learn it with respect to the data, and what are the data models we have it, which model is efficient. So on certain interview things related questions also about the data. So this will give you like exposure about data, right? So this I will cover it for a few sessions. After that, I'll be teaching the database, right? So when I say database, right, like it will be like how do we store the data? Data warehouse is nothing but the data only. So actually, how do we store the data, and how do we retrieve the data, right? So those things I will teach it. Like mainly, we create a report, right? So when we create a report, whether those numbers are correct or not, how do we test it, right? So if you know the SQL, right, it will be easy to test that particular numbers, and to make sure that our report, whatever we developed, it is correct. We can ensure that. Okay, and that is on a SQL server side. And I will also teach you like data modeling tool. So basically, this is also we don't have to learn too many things in this data modeling tool. So more or less, if you have Power BI knowledge, right, using that we can also work on data modeling. So first of all, what is this data modeling tool? See, Power BI will support a certain amount of the data. So if we have, if some of the companies or projects having huge data, and if we want to create a report out of it, right? So we can depend on data modeling tool. So where we can create a model and deploy it and connect that model using Power BI and create the reports based on that. Okay, so this is the overall things which I'm going to cover in my training, part of this training. So this will take like 2 months of training. Okay, and it'll be timings will be like 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. IST. So daily we will have 1.5 hour class. So where we will have everything covered. Like initially it will be more or less theoretical question related topics for a few days, but remaining things everything goes on practicals. So this theoretical also I'll be giving the example to make you understand. So that is the overall thing which we will be looking into. Okay. And if you look at first of all, I was saying this Power BI or Tableau or anything, right? Any other BI tool also, right? So why companies they wanted to invest in this particular BI, right? BI means business intelligence, right? So basically BI means business intelligence. Intelligence means knowledge. So business knowledge they are giving it. These tools, right? They're giving the business knowledge. They're not giving something else or somewhere else. Okay. So they are giving this business knowledge, right? So from the existing one only, existing data only, right? So whatever the company's information is there, so with that data only we are getting the information through this particular BI. Okay, so like what I'm saying is you could see business intelligence is the process that help us to change the data into information, and that information we get it as a knowledge, and that knowledge we will knowledge into plans we will make it to guide that organization or to improve or how we want to go forward in their business. For example, it could be like any companies, guys, or it could be any kind of industries. So business intelligence is must. It is not like I'm saying everyone can use Power BI, right? So business intelligence means so they want to analyze their business how it is happening and they want to go forward in their business, right? So that will make sense while doing the business. Simply over the talks, no one will run the business. So basically, the thing is, right? So let's say I have some manufacturing company, right? So how much sales I have got it, how much I have invested, how much I have got the sales revenue, how much profit I have got it. So that sales only. So where it happened, which market it happened, right? Or which region it happened. Within that region also, which city it happened, right? So if you understand more about our business, right? Let's say some reason business is not happening. If you can understand this through these reports, right? What they can do is they can do some kind of marketing in that particular area to improvise their business, right? So like this they can do something with their with this particular reports and move forward in their business. So that is the not only that particular one, let's say banking system, right? How are their applications are running, how are their application performances are there, whether their applications can handle how many users it can handle, how many issues we are getting it, whether those are issues we are rectifying to the customers within time or not. TAT means turnaround time. Within that turnaround time, are we fixing those issues or not? Right? So like otherwise, if you have a retail or manufacturing, right? So we'll be transferring the goods supply chain from one place to another place. How much time we are taking to, it is like kind of a lead time, right? So how much time we are taking from one place to another place to ship our goods, or it could be like inventory management, guys. Inventory management means in a shop how many is sold out, how much space we have it. So based on the space, right, we can pick it up. Or if you take like any kind of uh, medical things also, like we might be about like Apollo or whatever, right? Something, how much is sold out in their shop, how much space they have it, how much they have to refill it, right? Or if you take any kind of daily needs things also. Let's say if you do something like in Swiggy, if you do some order with some food, and that is also get data for them, and end of the day they want to understand today how many orders we got it, how much revenue we got it, right? So like this, anything if they want to understand, right, this BI is very 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 important actually. I just given some of the examples, but yeah, so everywhere it is required reporting, right? So this, with this knowledge, if they do this particular business, right, it will help. It will be like, easy for them to understand what is happening, where is the problem it is happening. They can understand clearly and quickly, and they can do it. I'm not saying without this tool it cannot happen. They can analyze it, but they can analyze the data in Excel also, Microsoft Excel also. Excel also, what is the numbers, they can see that. But these BI tools, right, so which will represent the data where users can understand their business very quickly, and they can take the decisions also on time, and which will help them, to take on time and proactive decisions, so that they'll be on, safer side, or they'll be like more active to take the decisions on time and go forward in their business. This is the main reason, like, business intelligence is helping in the, any of the project or industry, to understand what it is happening in their business. Okay. So this is the thing mainly. Yeah. So let's discuss if you have any queries in about these things, all right. In the end, as this is a like overview session, let's continue this. Yeah. Yeah. So, and if you look at, this is the cycle of the business intelligence which will happen actually. If you look at, so we get the data, right? So the raw data can be anywhere from the source. For example, I would like to know, in particular, ATM machine, how many transactions happen today, right? So that is also like a raw data, right? Like, so how do we get the data? If a person goes and perform the transaction, that data gets feeded into the system. Or if you go to the supermarket, right, they'll do billing. Once the billing is done, then that data, whatever the sales data happened, right, so that gets stored in one of the system. So it is like, everything, whatever we do it, right, like that will be stored. Like even if you searched in Google for something, right? So Google also will search that whatever that data, whatever the search we are doing it, right? So it will store it actually. It will not store like as our information with personal details. How many people are searching for what, right? They will have some data also, right? So it's everything. It is the information what it happened like through the transactions, right? And it gets data stored in the database, right? So what database, what kind of databases we have it. So to store the data, what model we have to choose it, what model is efficient to store the data in data warehouse. All these things I will cover them in the upcoming lessons. Okay. And if you look at the raw data, whatever we get it, right, it might be getting like in a different structure or different formats also. Some might be Excel format, CSV, JSON format, XML format, Parquet file, or any kind of files. We might get the data, and those file format data, if you want to store the data in a database, right? So we will be using that another ETL tools. ETL means extract, transform, and load. There will also be a ETL tools in this project, right? So what is that do is, BI tool is nothing but, so we create a report, right? Power BI, we create a report. But this particular one, so we create a jobs, and that will pick the data daily basis, or whatever the frequency what we set it, it will go and pick the data from the folders, and it get the data loaded into the data warehouse system. Okay. So what is the data warehouse? Data warehouse is nothing but the place where we store the data. How we store it, data, everything we will discuss in upcoming lessons. Okay, from the data, so whatever the data we want it for our report purpose, because data warehouse data, it has a data of sales, profit, logistics, procurement, marketing, HR data, financial data, right? Like it could be any kind of data it can store with. But out of it, let's say I'm creating a report of sales report. So I connect with the sales data and I create a report, right? So report, right? Power BI is nothing but so creating the report. So creating the report in the visualizations only. There are like some of the charts will be there. Graphs are charts we will be there, like bar chart, line chart, pie chart, like kind of charts we use it. I will also explain you in the class like when to use which visual, right? So for let's say if we use a bar chart for certain purpose, another chart for another purpose. So we should have that knowledge also. Yeah, I'll teach you that in upcoming lessons, right? So this graphical representation, right? So which will help and they will have the meetings. Right. So higher level management, right? So they will conduct or they will have the meetings actually. Okay. So with that meetings, right, it will be like they will take decisions actually, like how they wanted to move forward in their business, right? Like they want to go this way or that way, like that they'll discuss it, and they'll go forward in their business, like how they want to move forward. As I told, right, like some area business is not happening, some area it is happening. If it is happening, they want to improvise more there. If it is not happening, they want to improvise through some other providing like some of the marketing things or some of the spending on marketing purpose. So likewise, which we can do that, right? So that kind of things they will do the strategy, and then also, so if our business is happening today, what about the next year? So how it is going to be? Let's say some product, right? Let's say if you take car or bus, right? Car only if you take it. So this year, some 70,000 cars has been sold out. So what is the probability of next year demand? How much it could be? If it is a 90,000 or 60,000, we don't know, right? So simply if they do manufacturing, right, it will be problematic. They want to understand the customer behavior and future predicting also, like based on the existing data. So which is like, machine learning actually. So with certain formulas and implementing certain theory and algorithms, right? They will also generate the data. So forecasting and predicting data. So that also it gets loaded into the data warehouse system, and we do create the reports for that data also. So this is the cycle of the flow which will happen usually in the workflow or in the business flow, right? So in that, reporting is also one of the primary element where we understand our business. Just to tell you that, like in terms of technical terms, right, what is this particular architecture kind of thing, you could see data sources will be there. So we said raw data, right? That is nothing but data source. So initially, let's say if I go and do certain ATM transaction, right? So it will go and store the data in certain database, initial database. Or if I go and do shopping, right? Like in Flipkart or Amazon.com or any other place, right? The data gets stored in one of the system, right? So that is the source system. It could be any source, so they will be choosing it. And as I told, right, extract, transform, and load. So that is what ETL we have it. Through ETL operations, so we'll pick up the data and we'll maintain it here. And from here, we will load the data into data warehouse system. So every each and step we need a ETL actually. So that will be scheduled jobs what we load it for. And if you look at data warehouse means where we will be storing the data, choosing the efficient model to store the data. We will also have a MDM because data warehouse. We will keep the data retained with a certain period only. Let's say we'll keep 5 years only. More than 5 years, we will maintain it, but we will archive it in a different place called MDM or master data repository kind of thing. So this is the kind of data management system which I'm explaining. So this is our part, guys. What we are learning is right now BI. So whatever it happens, like it is happens to end goal is to create the reports only. Okay. So reports by BI tools. Okay. So data, whatever we have it. So certain things we will also split the data again to the data mart where we'll have complete data will be there. We'll split it like sales data separately, logistics separately. So say logistics are sales also, online sales, offline sales, like anything, like any kind of data, we will have separate marts, and from there we will be creating the reports. So we connect with the BI tools like Power BI, and we create a reports and dashboard, and we provide the access to the users so that they can understand their business through these particular reports. So this is the kind of architecture, standard architecture, which every project will have it, right? So what is the source? What kind of data sources you have worked it? All these questions will be there, like we will discuss in upcoming lessons when it comes to the interview point of view about the project architecture. Okay. So if you look at the industries or domains, right, which might we might be working with, it is not like one data, guys. So if you know that particular tool or this particular tool to work with, right? So if you know that tool, right, to work with, so we can work on any kind of data. It doesn't matter actually to work with. It doesn't matter like to work with any kind of data. For example, so if you look at this one industry, right, we have different industries are there like e-commerce, right? So financials data, manufacturing data, healthcare data, e-commerce, energy, electrical. It could be any domain, I'm saying. End of the day, we are going to work with the data only. Whatever the company data it is, right? So let's say if I got a project with this one, HDFC Bank, then I will be working with that HDFC Bank data. Or if I got a project with Amazon or Flipkart, right? So I'll be working for that. So whatever the data is there, end of the day, so we need to connect with that data and we want to create the reports for their requirements. There will be clear information provided to us, so which we will be discussed in upcoming lessons, like how we get the requirements, how do we create a report, right? So all those things we will look into that in upcoming lessons. Okay, and if you look at, so it could be like any kind of industry, it doesn't matter. End of the day for us, so what is your requirement or what is your objective of this report? What data it is, what I want to create it for you. So that is the thing which we should think, right? So mainly those things which we can think of when you have the knowledge on this particular tool, right? So Power BI, if you have expertise in this tool, it could be any data, we can load it and we can create the insights. Insights means that visuals only. Okay, so we can create that insights through using different visuals like bar chart, pie chart, like that. We create a report out of it, and we will represent that. Okay, so if you look at, this is the kind of a flow which we can expect or see with actually, right? So like you could see data sources will be there, and we will have a ETL tool. So all this while I was not showing any ETL tool. It is a ETL tool is there, and database is there. Database means where we can store the data. So in our training, right, we will also learn about like database also. How do we store the data? How do we create a table? How do we load the data? What are the data models we have it? Everything we will study in this particular training, this part also. We are not covering the ETL part in this training, but so we'll be covering like 90 this 100% on the BI side, and some part of the training which is very much required thing on database side, which we will be covering with. And you could see here it is a BI tool is a Tableau, right? So it is like not like if you look at here, it is Power BI. It depends, right? Here you could see Informatica, there it is another tool, Talend, right? So like what I'm saying is there are hundreds of mobiles are there in the market, hundreds of brands of mobiles, companies of mobile. Not like everyone will be using the same mobile, right? So everyone will not use the same phone, right? Different companies they'll choose it. So likewise to create the reports. So we have not only Power BI available, so we also have other tools also in the market available. So Tableau, Power BI, right? So click view, looker from Google side, from Oracle, OBI, like a number of tools are there. If you look at like if you could see why Power BI, which one is better, right? So if you look at here, right? So this is like 2022 data actually, as on January 2022. So when you look at these two things, guys, understand ability to execute and completeness of vision. So there are like two factors which I'm just saying, right? So if you could look at here, ability to execute this one factor. The second one is completeness of vision. So based on these two factors, right? As on January 2022, among the BI tools, whatever we have it in the market, right? So Microsoft stays number one position in the market. See, we also have other BI tools also. Like if you look at Salesforce is there, Salesforce. Recently, right? Tableau, Salesforce has purchased the Tableau and they have acquired the Tableau also. So that's the reason now if you look at 2015, it was only Tableau one. So actually previously Tableau was number one tool in the market, right? But last 5 years onwards, 5, 6 years onwards, right? So we have Microsoft Power BI as the number one position in the market. So because it has more capabilities and abilities, we have it like in this particular tool, which can support for business intelligence reporting. So there are other ones also we have it. If you look at here, so we also have a Google also. You could see Google also is there, but it is having ability to execute, but completely it will not support for completeness of vision is something it is not there much there, right? So click is there. So if you could see leaderboard, we have only three are there right now. So one is Microsoft Power BI, second one is Salesforce Tableau, then third one is Click. So that is the market which we have it for Power BI. Okay, so Power BI has lot of openings and also it has lot of demand in the market where everyone is opting Power BI as a BI tool to create the reports for their projects or for their companies. Okay, so in that way, it is good on that factor, right? So that's the reason people are using it's more about this tool. Okay, I'll show you like how we can use this tool Power BI and I'll help you out on that factor also. Okay. So like if you look at the scope of learning Microsoft tools, right? So you will always have a stable demand and a stable market in the uh, like in the demand in the market for Microsoft school skills actually. If you look at Power BI, right, last 5 years onwards, it's number one in the market. Everyone are using and most of the people who were using different tools also they were migrating into Power BI reports. Okay, and we also have other options within same company Microsoft itself, like data modeling is there. So as I told, right, I'll be covering data modeling also part of this training so that you can show multiple skills in your resume. Okay, so we also have from Microsoft, we have ETL, SSIS, and Azure Data Factory. And there are other modules also. We have it in the cloud area where we can store the data. So it is like they have a uh, like end-to-end system, so which Microsoft can provide it for BI actually in the any of the project. So in a project they can use everything Microsoft tools itself without depending on any other things. So that is the thing availability of Microsoft skills within the market with respect to this particular data side. Okay. And if you look at or if you talk about Power BI, right? So Power BI, in Power BI, what is this particular one? It is a tool actually. It's a small tool, I can say. That small tool, if you learn end to end, right, properly. So what option is there? So what is the purpose of it? Right? If you know everything about this tool, right? Power BI desktop, right? Basically, Power BI desktop is a developer tool, so which we will be using, connecting with the data and creating the reports. So we create a report and we publish it so that people analyze their data to understand their business. Okay. So like I was saying, right? So like I was saying, so we have a Power BI is a reporting tool, correct? So in this reporting tool, if you look at any industry, guys, if you look at this one, any industry data, if you are aware about the tool, like what is Power BI and end-to-end knowledge, if you have it, right? So you can have the capability to work on any of the domain data, so which you can create the insights of it. So if you look at, so this particular session, right? Like, so here, so Power BI desktop, it's a developer tool to create the reports and everything which we can do it. So we also have a to use this Power BI desktop, right? So we have different account types also there. So like subscriptions, we have it. So Power BI Pro license and premium license is there. So what is the Pro license and what is the premium license? So what things will be there in Pro and what is there in the premium plan? Right, so all those differentiations which we will see that most of the organizations will choose the premium to get the maximum benefits which they can utilize it actually, right? So Power BI server also we have it, like Power BI server is a solution where we will publish all the reports whatever we develop it, right? So we will publish it in the particular workspace, and from that workspace, so we can also set up an app also to showcase or to provide the reports for the user access. Everything we will cover up like these things in the upcoming lessons mainly. So this is it, like mainly on the Power BI service or server side. And so what is Power BI desktop? Right. So if you look at this particular one, right? So this is the types we have it. How do we install Power BI? How do we create a free account, free pro license? All those things I'll teach you in the upcoming lessons. Okay. And we also have a Power BI premium. What is premium? What are the different types of premium plans we have it? So what are the differentiations? What benefits or what options we get it in pro and premium? So we'll discuss all these options. Okay. In the upcoming months. Just to talk about or to take about this particular Power BI tool. So this is the Power BI tool which I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the interface of the tool actually. Let me open Power BI. I have already installed in my machine, right? Let me open Power BI tool. I'll also help you out like everything on the installation side, everything in upcoming lessons, guys. Okay, so I'm opening this particular tool, and after opening, I need to connect with the data. Okay, so in order to connect with the data, right? So we just have to go to this SQL server. Let's say if I'm connecting with a database called SQL, but Power BI supports, if you could say get data, right? So it can support like n number of data sources. What data sources, how it can connect it, everything we will discuss in upcoming lessons actually. Okay, so like we can connect with n number of data sources or n number of file types, anything which we can connect it. So we'll discuss in upcoming lessons about this more. Okay, and it is as simple as that. Like if I have recently connected data sources, okay, let me just connect with this one. I'm connecting with the previously established connection itself so that I don't have to provide anything here. But so in our classes, we will load the data providing the server name, everything. OK, if you could look at, so we can select the data like this, right? So we can select multiple tables, or we can select the data like this. See, I selected two tables and load the data into Power BI. Okay. So what is this connection types? All these things I'll tell you out. Like okay. So everything if you know about this tool, right? It will be easy for you to attend the interview and also to work on in this particular tool also. So I'm just loading the data into this particular tool. Once we load the data, so we get the data into the right side of it. Okay. And so once we have this data, right? So we can go and see the data also. What data inside we have it in that particular tables also like this. And to talk about this Power BI interface, right? So we have this report session is there. This is the report session and this is the data window. What is data window means where we can see the data also. What data we have it in which object. If I say choose this object, we can see this data. If I choose this, like whatever the selected object, we can see that underlying metadata in it actually. And so this one talks about data modeling. So here data modeling comes with a where we will be creating the relationship between the tables and do that. So we'll have a session on this also in upcoming lessons. Okay, so everything I'm going to teach you what is it data modeling, how can we do it, and what is this every option in this tool, and make you understand that. Okay, and this is the report tab where we will be creating the report. So we might use the visualizations or anything like for example, if I take the card visual, which will show me that overall how much sales happened, I can show that, right? See, sum of sales is 8.995 million. It happened. Similarly, I can also show how much is the profit happened. There will be a lot of things which we can have to learn it like in terms of UI UX, like alignments and a lot of stuff which we can do it. In case if you have to do border or something, we have to enable the border, visual border. See, likewise. And we can also create the visualizations also, right? So sometimes, right, understand guys, all of you. Let's say I want to create a report. Okay, so for anything, of course, like a region is there. Okay, I want to create a report for current year data. So we have a data actually in this one. There is no data we have it for current year, right? So which means we need to create a new field applying our logic or applying the filter logic to create the data for current year so that we can show the data for current year. So right now I'm not creating, but yeah, I'm telling you an example. So we have a something called in Power BI, right? DAX is there. DAX means data analysis expressions, DAX functions. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to cover all those functions with practically like explaining the scenarios also. Using that, which we can create the measures and we can drag and drop. See, it's not creating this report is nothing but drag and drop only. These fields we have to drag and drop and create it. And we have to change the colors or alignments, everything we have to do it. So that everything which we can learn it. But yeah, so end of the day to create a measures, so we should have a DAX functions knowledge on it. Right. So that anyways I'm going to teach will be covering you like with the real-time use cases and real-time scenarios and real-time workaround options. There will be some option people will be looking for. It will not be possible directly to implement it, right? So we have to look at other options to implement that. So like kind of options also we will be discussing in upcoming lessons. Like this, which we can create these visualizations. Once we create this visualizations, right? Let me open one of the report which is already developed actually. Let me just show you, right? So if you could see, I'm opening an existing report, guys, all of you, just to for your awareness or this one. So this is how we can create a report in the projects, right? It's still loading. Yeah, if you could look at, so it is like, it is a developed report. So it is showing some data to us, right? So if you could see, it will show other information like this, and we will publish the report. Whatever we develop it, right? So we'll publish it in the Power BI server. So that's what I said, like if you remember, right? So all of you, right? So this is what I told end of the day. So we have, Power BI server is the solution where we can share our reports, whatever we develop it. So we can go with this publish option, and so we can publish it into the workspace. It could be any kind of workspace which we can usually we will publish and in the dev workspace, for example. So we will publish in that particular workspace. So once you publish it, right? So users can access the reports through web actually. If you look at, so it will be accessed through web. Let me publish it here. It is getting published. You could see. So I'm able to access the report through web. Getting it, all of you. I'm just trying to sign into this particular one. Yeah, if you could look at, so we can see the report through web basis. So whatever we develop, so in order to develop this report, right, we use this Power BI desktop, and we load the data, we connect with the data, we create these reports, how to do everything, each and every options. We have insert tab, modeling tab, view tab, and similarly, there will be some of the hidden tabs. When you click on format and drill is there, click on data, we get data table tools. Similarly, if you click on something else, like we get column tools. All these options we will learn it like in upcoming lessons. And also, so we have transform data option is there. So which is like, mainly we use it to structure and streamline the data. So in order to structure the data, so which we can use this Power Query, right? So I'll teach you like each and every option, like how do we use this, what option, how do we use it, everything will teach you out there. And yeah, so if you look at, yeah, see, so like this, we can click on this button. Like how do we keep this button and click go there, and you could see. So we are able to see the data by sector wise, function wise. I can see it, or BU wise. I can see it. So likewise, this helps. If you want to select with a particular year or a particular month, and if you want to analyze the data, which we can do it, or if you want to go with other analysis, just click on this link and have that data analyzed like that, which we can do that. So basically, as I told, right, so BI tools will help you to create the, a report. So this report is very quick to understand what is happening in our business, right? So that, we can, try to improvise our business, or so we can take proper measures on that particular factor. So that is the thing which we are going to learn end of the day. And yeah, this is the roadmap of our training, what I'm going to teach in upcoming lessons to you. Okay. So basically, if you could see, so I'm going to teach like data warehousing concepts. Okay, so what is data warehousing? How do we store the data? So what are the different models we have it, like as I said, right? All those things, theoretical things, which I'll be teaching in like in upcoming lessons. Then I'll go to the database, SQL Server database, where how do we create a table? How do we load the data? And how do we connect with the data, right? So using Power BI, will teach that everything. I'll be teaching like, different kind of data connections to make you explore about different sources of connections, like on-premise SQL Server, Cloud SQL Server, I mean Azure SQL Server, and Excel, and analysis services, different kind of data connections we will connect with and explore that options. And so when it comes to Power BI desktop, so as I told, right, like this is the Power BI desktop. Which one? This is the one. So I'll be covering end-to-end options, like to make sure that you are very much experienced person. With this training, right, you can easily showcase that you have experience in this particular skill set, that you have already worked on it. So that is the end of the day what you get it from this training. Okay, so and usage also, as I told, right, so when to use which visual we should know as a BA developer, I'll be teaching that also. And so not like it is very easy, right, like whatever the real time things what it happened in real time, which everyone not will get the idea, right, like so where I'll be teaching some of the workaround options for certain solutions, that also I'll be teaching it like in the upcoming classes. And also, as I told, right, I'll be covering DAX functions, 230 functions I'll be covering with examples, right, to make sure that you have good knowledge on DAX. So DAX is the main skill in this particular training, right? So most of the other institutes I heard, like they will hardly cover 30-40 functions only, not even that also some places, right? So the main core subject of this particular training is we want to create the measures or columns so that we can drag and drop and create the report, right? If you want to drag and drop, I understand this Power BI is a drag and drop and we can create a report. To drag and drop, we need to create those measures as per the business requirement. To create that measures and functions, right? So we need this functions knowledge. That I'll cover it like with examples, everyone, so that we can easily do that. There will not be any coding here. So those functions are like predefined. So we just have to use them. Okay. And I'll also cover Power BI server then. Then I'll also cover real-time project scenarios. I'll be covering in the exist normal classes, but I will also take a project session. So where create the report from the scratch so that you will have complete visibility like end to end. So those anyways we will do it like in regular classes, but I will also take a separate thing also. And as I told, right, I'll be covering the data modeling tool also, part of the training. Okay. And apart from that, I will also ask the questions on daily classes, right? Like whatever we have, I will teach it, right? I'll be asking the questions in the daily class, so which will help you to understand or to experience the interview questions while attending the sessions itself. So whatever the interview questions which will be asked, right? So those questions I'll be asking so that you will have the visibility of interview questions and learn from that, things also. Okay. I'll also share that reports for hands-on practice purpose. Around 40 reports I share it. You can create those reports on your own with your laptops, right? So that you will get hands-on experience about this particular tool. That is also something which we can get it, right? And also I will also provide these recordings around 7 months. Whatever the classes I'm teaching, I'll be giving from today. I'll be giving around 7 months. Is there like okay, not 7 months, sorry, 8 months actually. You'll have 8 months. See, it will be like very easy. Within 2 months, you can learn this training. Not even 2 months, within a month also you can learn it. That much simple. If you give some concentration, right? Right, so within 30 days you can learn it, but I'm just giving a buffer time where you can practice and refer it again and again, right? And one thing is you just have to focus on the training and just learn. It is very simple only. Again, if you spend hardly every day 1 hour 2 times, right, I mean 1 hour 2 hours, right, so it will be sufficient for you to learn this particular subject properly, right? And don't think like, okay, I'm not a software background, I'm from non-technical or technical, nothing matters. End of the day, tool is everyone for two. This Power BI tool is same for everyone, right? So it could be like for technical people or non-technical people, end of the same only. Only thing is you should know that tool. What is this tool about, like end-to-end options? Then you should be able to use it. Okay, so that is the thing. It is nothing matters like to get into this particular skill, right? Any graduate is fine. It could be BCom, BBA, BBM, BSc or BTech, within BTech, mechanical, civil, or whatever it is, right? So you just have to have the knowledge completely, and with that knowledge, if you attend the training, right? I mean, like interviews, right? If you perform well, they'll based on the knowledge they give you the job to work with. So once you get a job, you need to work on this tool. To do that, so you should have complete knowledge on that. That is the main thing I could say. And I will also provide end-to-end materials, whatever I'm teaching that in the training, right? I'll share those materials also, so which will help you to refer and you can prepare from that. You don't have to take any notes. Again, you don't have to prepare it, but I'll provide you that. Will also help you on the jobs placement support also, like how you can get the placements and how you have to try. So that is also I can provide that. If you need any information, you can connect with me on this one. Okay. And yeah, so if you can refer other training videos in this particular channel, we have it like YouTube channel. So corporate trainer Naveen, you can just search it on Google. You will find it. You will see a lot of videos over here. Okay. So that is it like about this training and the roadmap, which we will have it like in upcoming lessons. Any queries anyone has? Just feel free to ask any queries if you have anything.
I think good only.
If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. If no questions, I'm closing this session now. So we'll have regular classes from tomorrow. So it will be like same timings. So I will start with the data warehousing concepts from tomorrow. And those who are interested, right? So the training fees will be 10,000. Okay. And you can enroll, you can pay that training fees also 2 times. So initially now 5,000 and after 15-20 days another 5,000. Okay. So you can enroll now and you can continue the training those who are interested. Okay. So that's it guys. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Any questions
Thank you,
anyone
sir.
has? Anybody has any questions? Okay, let me stop the recording.